Hey guys, welcome back to the He Heals podcast. My name is Rachel. This is episode 6, and today I want to talk to you about how I am healing from fear. I say healing because it's an ongoing process for sure. But to start, I feel like I start every episode this way. Like, I've struggled with fear my entire life. But for me, it manifested as anxiety and worry. And I have that whole other episode about anxiety. But today I want to talk about fear specifically. And I want to talk about a specific point in my life where my mind or my perspective shifted about fear. So it was about 2 years ago. I was hanging out with my closest friends, and I was debating on telling this story because it might be a little much. I don't know. But I've decided to live an authentic life, so I'm just going to go for it. And I've kind of already talked about in another episode about my history of substance abuse, specifically with marijuana. Smoked for many years. But anyways, I was hanging out with my friends. We smoked, and I ended up getting like the most high I have ever been in my entire life. And I legit had a vision. Like, I'm not talking about a dream where like I was asleep. No, I was awake and seeing things. And I had never experienced this before. So I was pretty scared. So I had this vision, and in the vision I saw myself bound in chains like this. And in the midst of it, I knew exactly what it meant. The chains represented fear. I was bound by fear. And in that moment, I realized that I had been bound by fear my entire life. Like, literally my entire life. I realized every decision I have ever made was out of fear. Like, from the college I went to the friends I had, to the relationships I stayed in. That's just to name a few. Literally every decision was out of fear. So this was like mind-blowing epiphany. Mind-blowing. I hadn't realized it before. And ironically, this whole thing like terrified me. Because like I said, I was high, and I was really paranoid because I was like, is this God? Is this not God? What am I seeing right now? What is happening? So I didn't tell anybody for at least a couple weeks. I kept it to myself, but eventually I started opening up to my friends about what had happened. And it wasn't until I talked to one of my close friends, Natalie, and she brought up something that really changed my perspective about this whole thing. And she said that I had been burdened by fear my entire life because I have big faith. That like blew my mind, because if you think about it, faith is the opposite of fear. So it just makes sense. And I think about Paul. It's in 2 Corinthians when he talks about having a thorn in his flesh that he's been burdened by. He asked God to take it away. But it's there to remind him on his dependence on God. And I kind of feel like that's what fear is for me. Something that has always been there, always felt like a burden, this fear and anxiety. But in my life, it has always pointed me to God, and increased my faith even, which is crazy to think about. So maybe you've seen it. It's like people say, choose faith over fear, or faith greater than fear. Well, they're the greater sign. I don't know if that's the right way. And so I choose to live my life where my faith is bigger than my fear, because that fear's not going away. But I just choose to make sure my faith is bigger than that. And I've heard it another way, worship over worry. Because if you're worshiping God, you don't have time to worry. I've heard my pastor say, praise over panic. Because same concept, if you're praising God, you don't have the capacity to be panicking about fill in the blank. So, like I said, I say I'm healing from fear because it's an ongoing process. Like, the fear has not completely gone away. Like, it's even almost stopped me from starting this podcast because I was afraid. Afraid of what people would think, afraid of sharing my testimonies, which are kind of out there like this one, and afraid of the failure. Like, I can go on about all my fears, but bottom line is the fear's not going away. I just choose to have faith. One of my mentors, Nikki, she has a saying, and she says, do it hella scared. And I've kind of like taken on that mantra because fear's not going away, but I'm going to do it hella scared. So here we are, episode 6. Fear's not gone, but my faith in God and who God is and what he says is so much bigger. So that is all. Thank you guys for watching and listening. So don't forget to subscribe. You can follow me at Rachel Elise. And don't forget to share this. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, because I know someone out there needs to hear it. All right.